What's up, YouTube? ODST General back again, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today, we are going to be talking about Dawn Under Heaven, the Halo fan film that released a few weeks ago. I'd recorded this video a couple of times. I went to do the editing finally after like 2 weeks, 3 weeks of recording the video, and found out my audio was completely screwed up from the second one, and the first one I spent a little too much time just kind of rambling. So we're going to try and keep this cut down and concise because I deleted all my notes. So I will say, getting right off the bat, Forward Unto Dawn, Dawn Under Heaven is the best cinematically made Halo fan film I've seen to date. The graphics in it for the CGI and stuff are just top notch. You know, I really liked, especially in the opening scenes, there was a lot of similarities to both We Are ODST as well as the opening scenes of Halo 3 ODST, so that was really cool. The prelude video, which was kind of a build-up to this, was just a small teaser video, had a lot of vibes, at least to me, that felt similar to the Halo 3 Landfall videos, the teaser trailers that were built up for Halo 3. So that was really cool too. I really like that stuff. The storyline was okay. I feel like there was a couple of smaller adjustments that could have been made. I like the overall idea that basically these guys are going down to get this Forerunner device that they have no idea what it does. But, you know, they're basically, that's their mission, is to go down and stuff. But with the story, it's the smaller plots in the story, the smaller decisions made, that I think kind of hurt the film overall. The first thing is that, well, they don't know what this device does. It's clear that the officer in charge who assigns this mission knows what it is. Oni knows what this device is to an extent. They know it's Forerunner. They know it's not Covenant because they refer to it as a relic. You know, and they put a lot of stuff on it for something that they would think was, you know, possible Covenant. They put a Halcyon-class cruiser, the sister ship of the Pillar of Autumn, in geosynchronous orbit above this squad of ODSTs, or these ODSTs, to defend this thing. But that's where it kind of falls apart too, because there's only 2 ODSTs dropping to recover this extremely valuable device that they're putting a whole entire cruiser above. And the ODSTs, there's only the 2 of them going into what they're pretty sure is going to be a combat zone, because that Pelican that was carrying that device got shot down. So that right off the bat didn't make any sense to me. Just the fact that they're sending only 2 guys on this mission just was something that kind of bothered me throughout the video. But, you know, fine, okay, I got over that fairly quick, and, you know, we land, and they go to, they get rescued by the squad of Marines who was supposed to actually be their extract anyways. So they had been tracking them through orbit and saw that they'd fallen off course. One of the 2 ODSTs, well, I will try to avoid spoiling as much as possible. But one of the 2 ODSTs, they get him, and you know, he's recovering and everything, and, you know, they're basically explaining the situation, what's going on, how they're trying to help evacuate the city, which was another thing that didn't make sense to me. Another kind of a small thing, but these guys are supposed to be standing by to extract the team. They've got, you know, a broken down Pelican, and they're in the process of helping assist with the evacuation of a city that's not even close to where these ODST are supposed to be going. So there was a lot of stuff like that in the story that just felt like it didn't make any sense in the context of what was going on, you know, what their whole objective was and all that. So that was something that kind of bothered me throughout. Character development-wise, the main character, and I had this in my notes and I forgot the names because it's been a few weeks, the main ODST, he was a good character. You know, the acting for all the characters was actually really good. None of the characters really felt stiff or like they were forcing emotion or anything. Everything felt really natural, so I did like the acting in it. But the other characters I really just didn't care about. The only character I really seemed to care about was the main character, the main ODST, because he is the main character, and he had the most development. And you see this thing where they kind of build up the idea, this is a guy who doesn't like AI, you know, and he's being forced to work with this AI to an extent, and over the course of this video, he has to trust it more and more. And, it shows that building relationship where this guy who had lost people because of an AI, blamed both himself and the AI for that, is kind of having to overcome that, which is, it's a good story, but the AI also grew some, and that seemed kind of odd to me. The AI was very emotional for an AI. That was something that kind of threw me off, it wasn't really bad, but it just seemed kind of unusual for that story arc there, to have the AI go through that, and I guess it was kind of necessary to do that to mirror the ODST's growth, but I don't know, just it felt unnatural for this very emotional AI to be in there. When you look at Halo's AI, and the only emotional one you really see is Cortana, who is very corrupted by the time we start seeing her get to that state. She's been in contact with Forerunner devices and the Flood and all this other stuff by the time she starts getting really emotional like that. And to that point, she's also the only AI like her, where she was cloned from a living copy of somebody, and that person is the person who made her too. So, Cortana is kind of the exception, not the rule that they should have been following. They should have been looking at AI like Roland and Serena, where, maybe they'll be a little bit snarky and, have their jokes and their quips and stuff, but at the end of the day, they know they're an AI. They don't care that they're an AI. They don't care that they don't remember who they came from or who they used to be when their patterns were made, but they are AI, and they just go with it. And that's why I feel like the AI in this should have been. Going through the movie, though, some people griped, and this is a big spoiler, I guess, is that there is no Covenant, at least on foot, and a lot of people didn't like that. Now, I think that was actually a good decision to make, and the reason I say this is because if you look at some of the best horror movies, some of the best thrillers out there, they build tension, and they do a really good job doing that. They don't need jump scares to make those movies, really gripping. They do it by building that tension over time. So you look at Signs, for instance, you don't see the aliens until almost halfway through the movie, but it's still a really creepy movie. This kind of does the same thing. You don't really see the Covenant, but they're there. They're in the ships above. These people could be shot down or killed at any point in time. I don't think it executes it quite as well as the examples I gave, but they still do it, and I don't think that's a bad thing. In fact, the biggest issue I have is when we see the Covenant on the ground. And there's a big spoiler, so I want to try and figure out a way to talk about this without spoiling what happens. But basically, they finally encounter the Covenant on the ground, and the Marines are all shooting at this thing with their assault rifles, even though it can't hurt this thing at all. Like, the assault rifles aren't doing anything. The Pelican flies in, and this thing could have shot the Pelican down or even tried to shoot at the Pelican, and it ignores the Pelican altogether. And, these people are shooting it on the ground. They finally decide to retreat all back to the Pelican after, basically taking a hit or whatever. And they're all sitting in the Pelican. The Pelican breaks down, and it's a very tense moment. And the thing continues to not shoot at the Pelican, even though everybody's now inside the Pelican. It didn't make very much sense to me. And it's just led to this very Deus Ex moment where basically they're all basically screwed. They know they cannot stop this thing with their small arms fire, so their only hope is to escape and leave, which is fine. That I have no issue with. But to stop it, the main character, gets out of the Pelican to go stop this thing. Now, the AI has disappeared at this point for reasons, and he goes out here and he's got the Forerunner device, and he has no idea what this device does, and he's trying to use it to stop this thing that's, now decided to finally shoot at him now that he's disembarked from the Pelican. And, he's jumped out of the Pelican with this little device that's like the size of a TV remote, and that's, for all they know, what this thing is it could just be a TV remote. And they go to stop this thing from shooting, and it stops and causes like a feedback, which causes the thing to blow up, and just the whole thing just felt so ridiculous and didn't make any sense to me. What I would have rather seen in that scene is that the thing was trying to shoot at the Pelican, simply was missing it, and they were not doing any damage on the ground. You know, maybe they got hurt by it before the Pelican landed, and the Pelican came in after somebody got injured to come and save them, and they retreated back to the Pelican, and then either the main character stayed behind before going back to the Pelican, or boarded the Pelican and the device activated while he was getting shot at, just by kind of coincidence, just basically thinking about maybe the AI that he had lost there just then and all this other stuff, but that's unfortunately not how it went, and I think that would have greatly improved the movie. Overall, though, I do think it is probably the best fan film to date, even if you ignore the hokey parts of the movie, or even if you don't ignore them, I should say. Like I said, graphically, it's the best movie. In regards to the cinematography, there's a lot of callbacks to Halo, both the games and the other, like, not fan films, but the other, like, teaser trailers and stuff they've done. The costumes were all really good for the most part. I did take a couple issues with the officer at the start and the pilot, who for some reason didn't use like lore-based costumes, even though everybody else was. Beyond that, like I said, it's a very high quality. And at the end of the day, it's a free YouTube video. There's no reason not to watch it. It's going to take like 30 minutes of your time to watch this video. And it's easily worth 30 minutes, I would say, just for that fact, at least if you're a fan of the lore of Halo and you want to see it like an action movie with some Halo in it. It's a good way to go. Other than that, guys, take it easy. I'll see you in the next video.